This one I'm doing with the hour meter on the white. This is like the old DC Ampere's 90s and 80s technology. um, this is the plastic broke on it. But anyways, I'm retrofitting an hour meter on here because this new engine needs an hour meter. So I got this to work really well. This old bezel, I just cut it out, broke all the shit out of it, and then this is gonna go in there and it's gonna sit. I mean, it's not gonna look perfect, but at least it's still got that trimmed bezel on it. So I'm just gonna glue it in there like that, like the further up. I mean, it really, that's not bad. You know what I mean? From afar, that's pretty OEM. You won't even be able to tell. So I mean, that's our modern 2008 hour meter retrofitted, because we really don't need to see the voltage. I mean, either your shit starts or it doesn't. So that's my fix for that. So far, I took the ignition switch out. I could put this factory ignition switch in, which is another thing I'm working on. It's only a 5-pin, and it's corroded and just gross and just doesn't look very reliable to me. So there's this guy, which I'm just gonna go with just this. This came off another mower, so I don't need any of this shit. None of that needs to go in there. That push button, this engine doesn't need this at all. This is off something else. I just took it out, so now I got this nice little bezel here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. I'm gonna have to. It's just easier. I don't got time to waste on wiring up relays and shit to make this work for the modern stuff like the carb and all the safety switches. It's just not worth my time. So I really don't want to cut into this ignition. I don't really want to cut into any of this stuff because it's badass, but I'm gonna have to. So I think what we're gonna lose here is the ignition lettering, and we're just gonna have like a little N sticking out right here, which is okay. Which N stands for number 1, which is what this machine is. It's number 1. So I think it'll work out pretty good. So I'm just gonna take a little Sharpie in there and cut that out with like a Dremel or something, and so that way we still, once this new key for this 2008 engine, once it sits in there flush, we'll still have our off, on, start. You know, just sit in there like that. I'm pretty pissed about it because I don't really like putting all this plastic, BS on here, but it's just what you gotta do, man. It's part of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the key that's came with this white, because these lawnmower keys, if you guys all know, they're not worth a shit. So it's pretty stripped out. If I can do this with one hand, there it goes. So I mean, it still turns over. There's on. There's start. So it'll work. So I can still keep the original key, which would be kind of cool. Not like it says anything cool on it. This is just a replacement key. But I mean, it's still part of the mower, so it's nice to keep some of it. Even though I like this old style ignition. You know, it's just neat, but you just gotta move on from it. Can't hold on to everything. So I got the choke put in. This is off another mower. I stole this off a yard machine or something. All of our cables, they look like they're gonna reach lengthwise up to the front. This carb linkage up here. So we're gonna pull the engine back out. I'm gonna wash it, and I think that's about all I'm gonna tinker with for the day. Go from there. It's gonna be nice to have that hour meter, and we already have. I took the factory switch out for the lights, and took it out, and I already have one on this wire harness for this engine. So I actually started cleaning up this engine wire harness today. It's got the electronic PTO on it, and that's what's taped up into here because you don't need it, you know. So all this stuff back here, I'm just gonna start going through and taping stuff up, cutting stuff out. Eventually, this is a brake safety switch. This mower had one on it, but it's like a complete different style, and it's really not worth riveting and welding brackets and all this stuff over it. So we're just gonna cut that shit, splice it together, and I'm gonna tape it up to the harness just to make it look like it was never even there. Clean it up real good. This is that PTO switch, you know, a little pull out, you know. This doesn't have this. This is mechanical, so we don't need it. Going further back, we got like all this super long stuff right here. I'm gonna cut this completely down. I believe I need to look at the mower this engine came off of. I believe this is just a reverse PTO. If you got your blades on and you try to back up, it kills the mower. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. We'll end up bypassing that because, you know, we don't need it. It's the seat safety switch, which is already bypassed very poorly. So if I can just completely unhook this whole rear harness back here and just be gone with it, you know, that leaves just this tiny little harness for this thing. Headlight wires, brake switch will bypass, a good ground, you know, moving up your star solenoid, which looks very good. You know, your battery cable to the starter, headlights, hour meter, ignition switch. Super simple, super simple. So I'm excited, we're getting there one day at a time. Keep it up.